بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربنا زدنا علما. اللهم نسألك الإخلاص والقبول وأن تنفعنا اللهم بما نقول. اللهم آمين. وبعد. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Tajweed 101 course, simple step-by-step Tajweed course that enables you inshallah to learn how to read the Quran properly inshallah. Welcome, my name is Maghfira and I'm an online Quran teacher, and you are watching Maghfira 101, the place to learn and know and understand how to read the Quran properly inshallah and understand its meaning. And today inshallah we are going to start a new characteristic from the characteristic that has no opposite, which is the elongation characteristics that characterize for letter Dad, from the hardest letters ever that we have in Arabic language. Let's start dive deep into it. الاستطالة. الاستطالة, it is a characteristic that is only characterized for letter Dad, and it is the sliding of the tip of the tongue over the roof of the mouth. Okay, so as you know that Dad letter is characterized by رخاوة, which is running the sound, and it's characterized by istitalah, elevation, so the sound, the back of the tongue goes up, and it's characterized by إطباق, or adhesion or compression of the sound inside. And from the things that is characterized for letter Dad only, and this is even unique for letter Dad over any letter, which is al-istitalah. So as I just said, al-istitalah, it is the sliding of the tip of the tongue, okay? The movement of the tip of the tongue from being on a part until reaching to the meeting points between the gums and the teeth due to this sliding. And the mouth should filled with the sound of the letter. And this happens due to the pressure of the sound that press on the tip of the tongue to move it from the tip of the gums until reaching to the meeting points between the gums and the teeth. Okay? And this is al-istitalah. So, al-istitalah or elongation, it's the pushing of the tongue forward after colloids at its articulation points. Okay? So as you see here, the back of the tongue is up, the tip of the tongue is touching here, and the sound is gathered here. So there is no escape for the sound in this case. So the sound will do two things. Number one, will press on the tip of the tongue, so move it until it's reached to the meeting points between the gums and the teeth. And number two, the sound will fill this inside part, so you will find that the inner part of the tongue start to be wider like this, to leave more space for the sound that can't find anywhere to leave or to escape in. So the sound will be inside, the same as filling a balloon inside your mouth. Okay, so this is the elongation. Elongation, it's the tongue, the tip of the tongue moves, slides over the roof of the mouth. Okay, and this sliding due to the pressure of the sound inside the mouth, which is, you will feel exactly like you are filling a balloon, or the same elongation on this area in the middle of the tongue. You will find this in elongation, empty area. This empty area start to elongate, start to be more due to the pressure of the sound in. Okay, as I just said, the sound will do two things: the press on the tip of the tongue, and will make more area inside the mouth, and this is al-istitalah. Make sure you do this on letter Dad. It's a little bit hard because you are not used to do it. So what we need to do to practice on istitalah well, number one is put the Dad articulation point well. At the first of all, we have to apply the proper articulation point of Dad. So put the tongue completely, the edges of the tongue should completely touching this part. And then use the proper part to press. Because as you know that, the two sides of the tongue are the pressure or the pressing area, while the tip of the tongue is just touching area. So make sure you are loosening your tongue. You are making it loose and not tighten it, not stiffing it. Making it loose to able to control this muscle, because the tongue is like a muscle. If you tighten it, if you make it like stiff, you are not going to feel that or read letters freely. Okay, so just loose your tongue and then put the tip of the tongue on its proper articulation point. Then press on the two sides of the tongue. Make sure this part is just touching. Then slide the tongue from being this its tip of the tongue, or the tip of the tongue, from being on this area to be on this one, on this area. As you know that this pressure happens just when we make the pressure of the sound inside, and when we make the sound of bod well and proper, okay? So the sound will be inside and it start to fill the area of the inside the mouth. So you'll find that your mouth start to fill with the sound of the letter due to this elongation characteristic, and the bod sound will start to be continuous. So by this we gain and we have the rakhawa characteristic for bod without losing it, without making it like shidda letter or the cutting the sound of it. So elongation will keep this sound for bod running, as well as this sliding will make the sound easy to be produced. So the wrong sound you make it maybe like like you cut the sound. The sound can't find a place to run, you know. So make sure not to push the tip of the tongue. Don't start the bod while putting the tongue here, because by this you already leave a very big area for the tongue to fill, and it's so hard to push the tip of the tongue. Even if you push the tip of the tongue further than this area, the sound will become like this, which is wrong. This is not the bod sound. Okay, so make sure don't start the bod letter from the meeting point between the gums and the teeth. Make sure to put the tip of the tongue here, then move it until it reaches to this part. Okay, and this thing will make you make a proper bod bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, and make you have a proper sound for bod. So al bo li bu al bo li bu al, like this. Okay, so al-istitalah, it is the sliding of the tip of the tongue over the gums, over the roof of the mouth, and this sliding because of or due to the pressure of the sound that press on the tip of the tongue. So move it to reach to the meeting points between the gums and the front teeth, and this is the elongation. And on applying this characteristic well, you will find the sound of bod long, and you will hear the sound of bod. Not you see, by this cut, the sound is cut. There is no elongation for bod letter. And this mistake, which is like this comes because we are not relying on the proper articulation point of bod, as well as making it like a heavy dal instead of bod. So stiffing this part and pressing it hard will not allow the tongue to move easier, will not allow the tongue to move spontaneously without any effort and without any tension. So to adjust your articulation points and characteristics, please just practice on how to loosen your tongue and how to make the tongue non-stiff, and making the tongue under your control. Okay, and this just need lots of practice and lots of relaxation in order to make this characteristic very well. Istitalah is from the hard characteristics, really from hard characteristics. But once you understand it and practice on it, it will be so easy bi'idhnillahi ta'ala after that. And when you listen to the sound of bod, after that you can recognize whether it is right or wrong bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Okay, so al-istitalah, it's the sliding of the tip of the tongue over the roof of the mouth, and this sliding is due to the influence of the compression of its sound, or of the sound on it. The compression of the sound on the tip of the tongue until the tip of the tongue lightly touches the gum line of the two top front incisors. Okay, so the movements of the tip of the tongue on bod will lead the sound of it running, and will make the sound of the bod giving its very unique sound on bod. Bo, li, lu, okay, so the question now is this characteristic, which is istitalah, is just for the sukoon bod? And the answer is no. All of the characteristics is unique for the letter on all of its cases, but it may be on the maximum, the clearest form of the characteristic when it is on the sukoon. So to know the characteristic or the articulation point of something or of any letter, just apply it on sukoon. So So this is the clearest form of the characteristic. So make sure that applying this characteristic for all of the letter or all of the cases of the letter la, li, lu, all of these things. Okay? So I think that's so enough for today. Let's stop here, inshallah, today. Please practice on yourself. If you find that it's hard or need to say anything, just send me on the comment, inshallah. Hopefully that explanation is a bit clear for you now. Let's stop here. Inshallah, next lesson will continue بإذن الله تعالى. جزاكم الله خيرا. سبحانك اللهم ربنا وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.